I've coined my own term, which is Eden Fruitarianism, which I consider to be a moral extension or an ethical extension of veganism. If you are living on predominantly fruit or only fruit, you are sourcing most of your food from trees such as this one here. And one of the advantages that this has over conventional food production is that trees are the most beneficial to the planet. The most beneficial type of plant that we can be focusing on growing are trees. They help retain the topsoil, they keep the temperatures steady, they offer shade to the ground, and very importantly also they offer habitat to all kinds of little critters that come along and live in them or live around the trees. If you're going to compare that, on the contrary, to monocrops of cereal, grains, wheat, rice, barley, rye, all these kind of things, they require every 6 months or at least every year that huge tractors go through the field with their blades, turning around the earth and destroying any wildlife habitat that happens to find its home within those fields. So you'll get not only will they lose their habitats, but in many cases they'll also lose their lives. If you look at any field which is growing naturally, you'll find that that there's probably hundreds of different types of plants growing within a small square, 10 square meters for example. Be hundreds of different types of plants that grow there. But when you're growing just wheat, you only want the wheat in that field. This is so unnatural, and the only way that it can be done effectively, efficiently, is by the use of chemicals, which are once more very, very harmful to the environment and incredibly harmful to any little animal or little beings that find their home on that in that environment. Now, I'm aware that fruit trees are often also sprayed, but the tractors never come along underneath these trees and turn around the soil. There's no need to do that. You'll be disturbing roots and probably killing the trees if you do that. So tractors are not there. Any chemicals that are used are never as much in comparison to what's needed in order to get one field only growing one particular type of grass or wheat or grain. If we get our food from trees, you'll find that you don't any longer need to cook food. It does require energy to cook that food, and that energy is always inherently destructive. The more you can minimize the use of energy, the better off the planet will be. We've all heard that age-old dilemma of what about plants though, that's thrown at us by carnists on whenever they feel threatened in some way by the fact that you're not eating animals. They might say, well, you're eating plants, plants have got feelings too. Now, although I don't try and equate plants and animals, because I certainly recognize that taking the life of an animal is very, very different to taking the life of a plant, I do nevertheless recognize that if I was to come along here and cut this tree down for no good reason, or because I felt like I wanted to eat the trunk of the tree, it would be very sad. I mean, this tree is growing here quite happily, and it's in the prime of its life, and to take it down, I think, is not a nice thing to do. A lot of the foods that vegans eat, which aren't coming from trees, there'll be things like carrots and cabbages and lettuces and radishes and I don't know, many different things that are included in a vegan diet, and pretty much always harvesting those foods require that you totally kill that plant off. So if you pull a carrot from the ground, you're effectively killing that carrot. That carrot's gone, it's dead. If you chop the head of a cabbage off to eat the cabbage, that cabbage will never get a chance to go to seed and to spread its seed around. It's gone, it's dead. If I want to eat a lemon from this tree, I'll take the lemon from the tree very gently. He's ripe and ready for picking. And this lemon, I'll eat him away from the tree, and when I've finished with him, I'll discard the seeds. It's a symbiotic pact between myself or any other human who's eating from the tree and the tree. The tree effectively wants for me to find this fruit appealing, to look at it and smell it and think, wow, yeah, this is appealing. This is appealing to the eyes, to the nose, to the senses. This fruit is the only food on the planet which has the potential to be 100% free of any karmic debt. There's no harm done. When I take the lemon from the tree is living. The tree is completely unharmed. This fruit was ready for picking. I just needed to touch it and it fell into my hands. If a carnist asked me, well, okay, I might eat animals but you eat plants, I'll say, actually no, I don't. I eat fruit from the tree. I don't harm the plant. I look forward to the day when I believe more and more people will adopt this lifestyle, more and more people will understand the sensibility in focusing on fruit tree growing rather than monocrop growing. I think it has a potential, if we all were to focus on eating more fruit instead of eating these other things, that we could effectively one day turn this planet into a Garden of Eden. I believe that this planet, nestled beautifully in the Goldilocks zone, has a potential to become a paradise. This is something which has the potential to radically transform the way we live on this planet and the way we regard all other species, including plant life.